Okay, we are going to solve y equals cosine 3 theta. And when I say solve, we are going to graph it. Okay, so pardon me, this is going to be my first time to use this app. And I'm hoping it's going to show you clearly how to graph cosine 3 theta. So just a quick review. Okay, for a quick review, when you graph the cosine function, where we will have pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, and 2 pi, then we'll have 1. We have a negative 1 for our range. Using the unit circle, the first value of cosine when the angle is 0 degrees is of 1. Okay, so again, if this is the xy coordinate, so if the angle is 0 right there, that's 0 1, right? So 0 there, I mean 1 0, sorry, 1 0, so that's 1 0, and that's why we have a 1 there. Okay, and then when the angle is at 90 degrees, then obviously x will be 0, so over here. When the angle is over here at pi, then it will be at, cosine will be at negative 1, and the angle is at 270, then x would be a 0, so right here, and then y is, when the angle is at 360, so complete circle, it's going to go back to a 1. Okay, so right there. So this is, right there. So that is a graph of the parent function, right? Parent function for a cosine. So cosine parent function. So that means the complete cycle and complete period is from 0 to 2 pi. That's 1 period. Okay, so this is a parent function, y equals cosine theta. Okay, now our case here, okay, has a 3 over here. So instead of a 1, so in the original function, b is equal to 1, or the number of cycles in 2 pi is just 1. But here, in 2 pi, we will have 3 cycles. So that's what we need to graph. So we need to have, so there will be a difference from the parent function. Okay, so let me show that. So let me make my xy coordinate again. Okay, so let me write y equals, so what, y, what's going on? Y equals cosine 3 theta. Okay. So y equals cosine 3 theta, our amplitude. Okay, quick review again before doing that. Y equals a cosine b theta. A is the amplitude, b is the number of cycles. So for our case here, our amplitude is a 1. Alright, and then our number of cycles is a 3. So in graphing, it's very important to know a period, because that's when we will be able to set up our pattern. So period is equal to 2 pi over the number of cycles, which is 3. So period is 2 pi over 3. That means from 0 to 2 pi over 3, we'll be able to complete the pattern starting from the maximum, 0, minimum, 0, and then maximum. So all of them, okay, all of them needs to be completed when it reaches 2 pi over 3. Okay, so in our graph, obviously the first one, which is maximum, the first one is maximum, it's just here, right? Now what the difference now is, where will I place 0, minimum, 0, and then maximum? I have to make sure that all of them, that cycle will be done when it reaches 2 pi over 3. So the strategy there is 2 pi over 3, the length of 2 pi over 3. So 2 pi over 3, I have to divide it by 4, okay, to get the 1, 2, 3, 4, 0 min, so that's 0 min, 0 maximum, so that's 4, okay. So I have to know my interval, the right interval. So 2 pi over 3 times 1/4, that becomes 2, that becomes 1. So it's going to be pi over 6. That means my interval will be pi over 6. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that means pi over 6, 2 pi over 6, or should I say that's so that's pi over 3, right? Instead of writing 2 pi over 6, it will be pi over 3, and then 3 pi over 6, or pi over 2, and then 4 pi over 6, or 2 pi over 3, and then 5 pi over 6, and then 6 pi over 6, or just a pi. Okay, now you have to remember, the goal is to finish one cycle when it reaches 2/3, 2 pi over 3. So this is my period right here. This is the length of my period. So remember, one period is equal to a complete cycle. So the length, the horizontal length, when one cycle is completed. So that's a period. So right here. So the 0 to 2 pi over 3, that's the goal. So to graph it, to plot our points, so again, we already have the maximum, so that's here. 1, 2, 3. I need -1 there. I need a 0 next, so 0 will be here. Minimum after that, so which is going to be here, and then 0 again. Oops. That's 1/2. Okay, again, maximum 0, and then minimum will be over here, and then 0, and then maximum 2 pi over 3. So you see, one cycle is completed by 2 pi over 3. So to connect the dots to look like that. Okay, and then again, this does not end here. This is a cycle. It's a periodic function, so this graph continues. Right, the next one will be here, and then this one will be here, and so on and so forth. It's just that one cycle is right there. Okay, that is one cycle. So you see the difference between the parent function, so our parent function right here, and then this, the y equals cosine 3 theta. Yes, so that's all for this video. If you have any questions, you can write a comment.